Hi guys, welcome back to Fiery Love 1111. I'm here to do a divine a reading for this specific collective that I'm tapping into regarding some messages from Spirit about this soul connection between divine masculine and a divine feminine, and messages from Spirit that they want to talk about, and messages from the divine masculine to the divine feminine, messages to the feminine to the masculine, and messages from Spirit to clarify it all. And I haven't looked at these, okay? I don't know if you can see them all. There's a few different piles here. I just pretty much barely started to get into the energy, and I only turned over this very first card. And when I started to get messages, I thought, you know what, I'm just going to dive into it when I'm on my channel. And then this one is the very last one, messages from Spirit, just to end the reading. So the cards I'm using are the Tarot of Sexual Magic, which is one of my all-time favorites, and this deck, the Island Time Wellness Love Oracle cards. They work so very well together. They honestly, I think we're almost made for each other. So they're just beautiful cards to use. And you might see readings from me with those cards specifically for a while, just because they're so much fun to use. All right, so let's just start to get into it. The first card that came up is Seven of Wands. Now, like I said, I don't read into what the actual meaning is for that tarot card. I read the energy of it. And, this card automatically told me that, if you look close, you can see that this divine masculine really wants to come forward. There's a collective of them, not just one specific one. There's a whole energy collective of divine masculines that are really wanting to move forward with their divine feminines. Of course, they are very hesitant. So as you can see, this card really clarifies that to a T. It's the most perfect card that can be used to showcase what that energy means. And see how he's holding her, but he's not really holding her. He's just barely touching her with those fingers. And the reason for it is because he's just so afraid to dive deep and get lost in her. He feels this energy of how much he cares for her is there, but he won't allow himself to. And not surprisingly, hold on one second, I'm sorry. All these cards are falling apart. I don't remember which one I had here. I think it was this one. Sorry. Yeah, so you see how he is just barely touching her, right? And guess what card came out to clarify that? And I'm sorry, my hands got stuck to them all and they got mixed up, but the Chaser, right? So the card says, the Chaser in a codependent relationship, fear of abandonment issue. So because of that, yes, he is the Chaser in the relationship now, because she is just sitting there completely, yes, she's hugging him and she wants to love on him, but she's sitting there in her own independent, very loving, very stable and solid Empress energy, okay? So there's no worries on her side. It's him that's really afraid to, she's holding on to him. She's giving him a hug and letting him know how much she loves him, but he can't hardly touch her because he's so afraid. God, if I let go, if I let my guard down, I'm going to get lost in her. I'm going to drown in her. And of course, the card, when he's chasing her in his mind, he might be following her on social media. finding ways to find out what she's up to, what she's doing, because, she's not chasing anymore. She used to be, but now she's just sitting solid in her energy of this divine feminine that knows herself, who loves herself. And, she knows in her this very loving, very sexual, feminine, receptive energy. She doesn't need to chase. She knows, women don't chase men. She doesn't need that. She doesn't need it. And so here he is finding himself in this pickle that he's the chaser, yet he can't hardly hold her for fear he will drown in her. And again, of course, the issue in this says fear of abandonment issue. So that tells me, he's so afraid to get attached to her because he doesn't want to let her go. He doesn't want her to abandon him. If he lets himself go and lets himself just drown in her, he thinks, it's like this issue of, oh my God, if I do that and allow myself to do that, will I never see her again? How can I do this? How can I do this? And this is the opening card. This is the opening message. This is how this collective of divine masculines are feeling towards their divine feminine, okay? And then the next card that came through was the Four of Pentacles. And as you can see this, he's just lovingly adoring her. She's just basking in her own divine feminine, the love for herself, the love that she has for herself, that she has gone through these issues. She's worked through those shadows. She's done so much work. She just wants to rest and love herself and remember that she deserves to love herself, right? And he's just like, this is just like the other card where it's like, oh my goodness, how can I even come close to her? She's just, but it's a very magnetic, a sexually attractive energy for this divine masculine because she does love herself and she's very receptive and open, and that feminine energy is a receiving energy. So he can't help but just want to just blah, like drowned in her and go wild with her. And yet he's so hesitant. He's just sitting on the side of her. He's barely touching her, but he really wants to. You can just feel this energy of just like, he knows if he just barely touches her, it's on and he won't be able to stop. He will not be able to stop himself, right? So then let's just take a look at the clarifiers. And I haven't looked at these anyway. I don't know anything about these. I wanted to read them live in front of you, and let's just go with the energy. So the cards that are with this are, the clarifiers are the photograph, which is looking at your photos, missing you, nostalgia, make new memories, and then the axe. The axe is breakup, separation, stop the pattern, silent treatment, abandonment. Yeah, so it's like, he's just so tired of doing the same old shit. This is the same energy as a reading I did just a little while ago. And it's the same energy. It's just like, every time I can't stop looking at her. I can't stop thinking about her. I can't stop wanting to be with her. This is that photograph energy, right? And then the axe is just like, I got to stop this because I'm just hurting myself. I'm just hurting myself because I can't keep away from her, but I can't stop thinking about her. I need to be with her. I need to touch her. I need to taste her. I need to be in her energy. And, it's so attractive. It's so attractive for this divine masculine. But he wants to stop these patterns. He wants to stop these patterns. And Spirit's telling me directly, this is the exact message. He wants to stop the pattern of abandoning his divine feminine before he gets abandoned. He does this. He knows, he's recognized that he has done this. In all his relationships he's ever had, he's the one that leaves first. He's the one that drops the ball and just blanks out, ghosts out, leaves, abandons, because he doesn't want to get abandoned first. And he knows this has been lifetimes of issues and stuff that he has been doing, and he just wants to stop that because the photograph energy that's coming through is he just wants to be with her. He wants to love her. He wants to see her, touch her, taste her, and he can't stop thinking about it every waking moment and all day long. And then the moment before he goes to sleep, this is what he thinks about, and he's just tired of living in that same old energy. So as long as he's now aware of it, he can fix it, Spirit says. Okay. And now let's just go on to the next one. And the next one is the Five of Wands. So first we had the Seven of Wands and the Four of Pentacles. Now it's the Five of Wands. And the Five of Wands is, see how he's watching? He's watching her. So this tells me, you know, she is with somebody else, or maybe thinking of somebody else, or dating or something like that. And to me, this energy just shows me that he's spying. All I see is a spying energy. That's just the word I see in like capital letters, capital bold letters, is spying. I don't know how this happens. I don't know what he does or what this collective does, but he is keeping an eye on her because he does want her, and he's still in those old energies I just told you about, right? So then let's just get on, wow. And so the clarifier for this is the Runner. So look at this energy, okay? So initially, you know, I told you he's not, this is what he's remembering. He's the chaser now, and wanting to get rid of this energy that came up next, but he's remembering back when he was the Runner. He was the Runner, and he was, you know, this person, this fear of intimacy and listening to his ego. He let that control him, and now he's looking back on it. Look at that. Look at, you know, I just love how freaking Spirit works. Spirit works so exact. I didn't plan this. These cards came out. I asked Spirit to guide me to all these cards. I didn't plan this. They all fell out as they are, as I'm showing you. And I'm reading the cards as the energy is showing me. And I just love how Spirit does that. Because this card is a literal card, like with the picture. See, he's looking at her being with somebody else. And all he can think about is how much he was the Runner. How he lost out. That's this energy of how he lost out because he was so afraid, so afraid of intimacy and listening to his ego. He lost out, and now he's seeing her be with somebody else, and he's just like, what the fuck? How did I? Sorry, I don't mean to swear, but that's literally what he kind of said. And I just have to go with it. You know, I'm just going with Spirit. And, you know, he's saying, what the fuck? Like, I listened to my ego. I was the Runner. I ran away from her. This person that I freaking love and I'm crazy about and I can't stop thinking about and I want to touch and I want to taste and I want to be with and I want to listen to and I blah, 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 blah. You know, his mind's going bonkers because he can't believe he did that. But he's aware of it now. Okay? That's the beauty of this. He's aware that he was the Runner and he can fix that. Spirit says he can fix that. If he wants to, he can fix it. Okay, so then the next cards are, and I did start to get a few cards in a row because, you know, I asked Spirit to clarify with these cards, and sometimes Spirit wants to tell the clarification with more than one card. So I just let Spirit do what it wants because it knows better than me. The universe knows better than me what it wants to say. And what I mean by that is the universe with, you know, judgment, karma, you know, temperance, wisdom, knowledge, all those energies of love, you know, they come through and they give that message. And sometimes it just takes more than one card. And I just I roll with it because that's the best way to do it. You know, if you want to get messages from Spirit and you want to listen to your intuition, just roll with it. Let Spirit work through you and let your ego go, and then you can get those messages better too, okay? So anyway, the next card is the Seven of Swords. And see, with this card, I kind of read it literally too. You know, he's sitting there, and he's not looking at her. He's not touching her. He's just laying there and wondering, you know, how can I please her? How can I fix this past? That's what this card tells me. And it may not be a literal tarot reading, but in this energy of this card tells me this is an energy of him looking back at the past and wanting to know how he can fix that. How can I step forward and be the man that she deserves, that I want to be, and like work past that past, jump over that hurdle of the past mistakes and make it right. Make it right, you know. Now let's see what the clarifications say. The clarifying cards say, not today, not dealing, hurt, avoiding a conversation, call person, boundaries, still angry. So he's thinking that she's in that energy, that she might still be, I'm going to put my boundary up. I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not dealing. I'm hurt. He's not dealing with it either, and he's hurt. You see how it works together? This card is working together with this. This is he's wondering if she's feeling that way and he's feeling that way, so he can't help thinking that she's feeling this way, okay? And there's boundaries, there's still a little bit of anger issue there, so, that's all the stuff that he's got to work through. And then that second clarifier was healing heart, and that says healing from heartbreak, freedom from toxic relationship or addiction. So this is what he's dwelling on, okay? The energy of these cards tells me that this is what, I don't know if you can read them, this is the energy that he is sitting in, okay? He's sitting in that thought of trying to heal from the past heartbreak, the freedom from the toxic relationship or addiction, and all the past mistakes, and he keeps putting it off, but he wants to heal from this, So that's definitely interesting. All right, and the next card in this series is the Nine of Cups, Nine of Chalices. So, this card has always told me an energy of wanting to get together. This is a deep, deep, deep soul desire to merge, mate, reunite with his divine masculine. It always is, and just open his heart. There's always been an open your heart. He wants to open his heart with her, and he wants to just hold her and talk to her, and he wants her just to listen. He wants her just to listen and to be receptive to him, because some of the things that he might say might hurt her, and he doesn't want to hurt her, but he wants to explain things. He wants her to understand that he's human too, and we all make mistakes. And so it's just a very, very loving, open card that tells me he still has those desires in his heart, and they're not going to go away. Justice is also in this card, and karma is also in this card, and it's telling me that these energies won't go away until he does fix this. He knows deep down in his heart he has to come forward and talk to her, because it's never going to go away. The energy is not karma, judgment, justice, temperance. They'll never let him just say, okay, you can do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. It's a yin-yang relationship where if things aren't done right, and things are left unsaid, and a relationship breaks off, these things have to be fixed. They have to be merged. And even if it's not perfect, karma will always come back in and say, you know what? You can't just leave things half-assed. You got to fix it. And and karma will find any way it can to get that message through. Okay, let's just see what the clarifying cards say about that. So so the mirror, and I don't even almost have to read this image to know what the energy of the message is, but it says mirroring each other. Self-image, relationship reflect our wounds. Relationships reflect our wounds. Introspection. And the love card is unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion, affection, attraction. See, that's exactly true. Look at this. Okay, so this is exactly true. They are mirroring each other because, hold on, sorry, I had a pop-up come up on my phone, and it's driving me crazy. Okay, it's this energy of they are marrying each other, because she knows she's not perfect either. She's not perfect either. She made mistakes in this relationship. She's not the one that walked away, but she knows she's wasn't perfect either. And so they're marrying each other. They're marrying each other with that unconditional love. with that self, with the love and the oneness, the knowing that they are one, they are the same. It's a twin flame soul connection type energy that's existing here, okay? You know, they're very much one and the same, Spirit says, one and the same. This passion, affection, attraction, that's very much mirrored back and forth to each other. You know, each of them both know that there's, like, he knows there's never going to be another divine feminine like her. Never. Every time he freaking tries and thinks he can just move on and find somebody else, no one matches, no one compares. And she feels that same thing with him. You know, it's just this, excuse me, a very strong, energy that's coming through. And it makes them dive deeper. The introspection makes them dive deeper and want to each fix this and clear this energy up between the two of them. Okay? So, you know, Spirit's working with both of them to try to fix that, and mend those wounds and help heal all those past issues. You know, that's pretty much what it is, you know. And then the next card in the series, I have 5 more, is the Queen of Swords. And, you know, the Queen of Swords is always standing in her power. She knows what she tolerated before. She's not going to tolerate, you know, a lot of the bullshit anymore. She has her boundaries. She knows what she wants, and she knows it's available to her. She just sits and trusts in that the energy of divine timing, the energy of the stars. You know, she has made her wishes and wants, and she knows that, you know, this is just something that will happen with divine timing, and that's all there is. You know, she's very confident in herself too. There's a very much loving confidence in herself regarding this. And then, you know, the clarifier is, I like you. I like you. Can you see that? And it says, someone likes you, romance is blooming, fun flirting, want to date. So, you know, this just tells me once again that the energy cannot be helped, you know, because she is sitting in her power and she loves herself, and it's this very magnetic, very, very magnetic, sexually attractive, feminine, receptive energy that this, you know, divine masculines cannot help but just be drawn to her, because they are the givers, the doers, the takers, the you know, they're just drawn to her like a magnet to you know, she's like a magnet and they're like steel. It's just, they cannot help it. And they this is that energy, because she loves herself. You know, there's this collective, you know, divine masculine that just can't help but want to be with her, and I'm very attracted to her, and she's just so very sexually magnetic. It's ridiculous is what pretty much the energy is telling me. All right, so and then the next ones are, okay, now these automatically, when they popped out, they just told me that there is a union, a meeting coming up. Okay, this is an energy of reuniting, but it's not even. Okay, you can see he really, it's, you know, the Knave of Pentacles isn't gonna match up to this Queen of Pentacles, right? He's not a king, he's a knave. He's not even a knight, he's a knave, but he's getting there. But he's not the same energy, right? So this is a different type of energy where he's gonna use his, it's a fox kind of energy where he's gonna use his smarts, I get sneaky, wily ways to draw her in and seduce her. It's very, very sexually seductive and seducing, but it's almost, and Spirit says tricky even, you know. So there's just an energy that because he knows he's not ready, he's not a king energy, but he really desires her and wants her, that he's still going to do whatever it takes because he really desires her. You see how he's holding her tightly, making her take this drink? And, she's not taking this of her, I don't want to say she's not doing it of her own free will, but you see how he's doing his very sly, seductive ways of getting her to do what he wants, Spirit says. Okay? Now let's just see what the clarifying cards say for this, because this is going to be interesting. So the first card to clarify these two is talking, interested, conversing more, awaited message arrives, text, call, email, hoovering. See, I did say, it's a message that's going to come through. There is a reuniting type of message that's going to happen, even maybe physically, right? And then the next card that is with it is separation. It's sadness, missing you, thinking about you, yearning, unsure of future. So, and they, because they can be together. Okay, the Knave and the Queen. I'm going to just get these organized better so you can see them, okay? The talking and the separation, okay, that's going to happen, right? But, the separation is the sadness, and the talking can happen because, the separation is happening because he's not a king yet. He's not a king yet. And she's this queen, and he wants to match up with her, so he doesn't know. He doesn't know if it'll ever happen. And he's really unsure about it. He's unsure about all of it, but the energy of not being able to hold himself back anymore is where it's at. And that's just how it is. He still loves her, desires her, and yes, it may not be completely honest and forthright, but when what he wants, he's not going to let anybody else stop him. Okay, that's what the energy is. It's very dominant, forward, warrior type energy, but not so much as a king and a knight. Okay, it's a knave. So he's just barely stepping into that power, right? But he wants to. He wants to, Spirit says. Okay. All right. So then the next cards are, and these two fell out at the same time also. Okay. These two fell out at the same time also. So they are the Knave of Wands and the Four of Wands. And of course, the Four of Wands, automatically, it's always a twin flame, right? This is the twin flame energy for always, to me. It's union, it's twin flames. So there's a clarifier for you. If you've wondered, if you are with a divine masculine that could be a twin flame, there's a clarifier. And, the Knave of Wands is just, more of that passion. It's unbridled passion, Spirit says. Unbridled. That just means exactly what it means. There is no stopping this. And that's almost in capital letters that I saw this. He's going to do whatever it takes to get her. He's going to do it. And that doesn't mean it's necessarily in the best, let me think of how I want to say this, okay? When I say he's going to do whatever it takes to get her, I mean that. So that doesn't mean, that means he might do some things that are wrong. He may not act in the most honest and truthful of intentions, or, it's going to be a wily, foxy type of way. He's going to do what it takes, and he's not going to back down. He's not afraid to take what he wants in this energy, okay? Let's just see what the clarifying cards are, because this is really interesting now. So the clarifying cards for these two are, the first one's a date, or no, the mask. Not showing true feelings, hide, personify, pretend, delude, gaslighting. See, I'm telling you. I didn't make this up. I didn't make these up. These cards came out. I didn't even look at them until now. Look at that. You see what I mean? And that's the energy of this card. It's not the most forthright and honest of intention. So yes, He's not showing his true feelings, okay? You know, he really wants her. He desires her. It's a very sexual energy, but that doesn't mean he's going to show her everything he's feeling. He may say he loves her, but he may not tell her how much he loves her. He may say, I'm in love with you, but he may not say, I'm so in love with you, I can't fucking breathe, right? So that's that mask. You know, because he can't open his heart. That mask, if you take that mask off, what happens, right? The truth pours forward. You know, you're bare, you're raw, you're real. And he can't do that yet. He's aware that it's there. He's aware that it's there. He's awakened enough that he's aware that he has that mask. But he can't let that go just yet, you know, so he's going to hide, personify, pretend, delude, gaslighting. He's going to pretend he's, you know, as much as he can, because he can't let her know his true feelings. He can't let himself know his true feelings. He can't let her know his true feelings because he can't tell himself those true feelings. Okay? So that's why this energy of the mask is here. And then the next card, that's the clarifier, is a date. So here you go. You know, I did tell you there's a union coming, there's a meeting coming, and it's a meeting someone new, dating, getting back out there, plans, set a date. This is the energy. This is what's going to happen. He's going to figure out a way, whether it's right or wrong, whether it's diluting, it's masking, you know, if it's not telling her his exact total feelings, but he's at least going to tell her, let's go on a date. Let's do this. You know, let's do something. Okay? But like I said, just remember that mask is still there because he's got to find that strength, that inner strength inside to let that mask go, which a mask, you know, is always ego. When he can let that mask go and let his ego go, then he can be free. And it's a work in progress. Right now, it's just a work in progress. And it's something that he is working on. Spirit's showing me that it's something that he is working on. And then the last card's the Phoenix. Wow, so look at that. So look at that. I got complete body chills with this card. The Phoenix is new phase, rekindle, renew, transformation, growth, changed mind. So look at that. Look at that. I want to just show you all three of these cards, holding them up. Okay? Look at this. Look at how crazy this is. And all these cards fell out together, okay? And this is how weird it is sometimes for me. I just had to go, I got to go with it. I got to go with what Spirit wants. These two cards came out together. And then these three cards came out together. And they fell on these two cards. So you got to take them. Spirit's got something to say. And I'm reading them right now. Live with you right now. And this is just crazy. So you see, he's wearing a mask. You know, and he's going to go on a date with her. He's going to, you know, spend this time with her. And yes, he may not be revealing his true feelings. He may say, I love you. He may say, I'm in love with you. And it may sound like, and it may be really filled with passion. But he may not be able to say, I'm so in love with you, I can't fucking breathe. But that date, and knowing that he has that mask on, causes this Phoenix, the transformation, the new phase, a rekindle, a renewing, growth, changed mind. It causes this epiphany of almost a second awakening to realize the mask doesn't do me any good. The mask doesn't do me any good. Because the energy will never change. I will never stop loving you. And in having that realization is what's going to help this transformation, Spirit says. All right. Okay, and then the last cards I have for this reading is the Three of Cups. Look at that. Like, to me, in this energy of this card, that is a reunion. That's you know, it's conversations, it's talking, it's meeting, it's dating, it's a reunion energy. Definitely. It always has been. This is, you know, deep desires that are coming to fruition in the 3D, okay? That's what this card is. And then the clarifier is heartbroken. So why would it be heartbroken, right? So let's just read it. Let's say deeply hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling lost, grieving, mourning. So you know what this energy tells me? This energy tells me that with this reunion that will happen, the heartbreak will come from all that, it's the past that's coming back to like haunt him, is what Spirit says. The past is coming back to haunt him because it's just, all this says is wasted time. It's not technically being heartbroken. It's not being deeply hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling lost, grieving, mourning. No. That reunion with her, touching her again, loving her again, being in her presence, being together, that insane chemistry that they have, that love that cannot be fought and cannot be denied. That little bit of heartbreak shows up because it says to him and her, there's so much wasted time. Why did I waste so much time? Okay, so that, and with that heartbreak, it can be fixed, because if you don't recognize, Spirit says, if you don't recognize the past mistakes, they can't be fixed, right? But he can recognize that. He can see that now. He can see that every time he touches her and kisses her and loves her, that energy of, oh my God, nobody does to me what you do to me. And she's the same way. It's a very electric, intense energy, chemistry that they share. Hugely attractive, hugely sexually the bomb, the Spirit says. Spirit says the bomb. So it's fine. I can go with it, right? And so that heartbreak that shows up, that just rises to the top, that's how it gets fixed. Spirit says that's how it gets fixed, because it just bursts forth. He sees her and he falls in her arms and he loves her and he tells her he loves her and he sees her and he hasn't seen her in so long, and then all of a sudden just all this passage just blew. It's just, that energy just boils to the surface and it explodes. He can't believe it. He can't believe it. But now that he recognizes it, when he's with her, he can recognize that and he can let it go. He can let it go and he can be healed, and they can move forward and not take this energy of hurt, sadness, separation, feeling lost, grieving, mourning. He can let all that go. He can put all that past behind him, and they can just enjoy each other. You see how beautiful that is? See how beautiful that is? This is like one of the most amazing readings I've ever done. And I've been doing a lot of them or just recently, and they're just, wow, I love this energy. Okay, so the closing messages are from Spirit directly, okay? And the two cards that came out, believe it or not, two major arcana, Death and the Tower. Now, I wonder why that happens. I mean, think about everything I just said with this reading. Why would the Death show up? Which is always transformation, which is all getting rid of all those old energies of the ego and pride, and the energy of this is definitely the ego and the pride, and oh, I'm gonna drop you before you drop me, just very much just a lot of letting go energy. And it happens, because of that Tower moment. It's going to happen because they were together. It causes that Tower moment. It causes all those old devil energies to come up so they can be released, right? And then the clarifying, let's just see what last two cards from Spirit. Look at this. Exactly what I just said. The hammer is, the sabotage, the rebuilding, interrogation, repetitive, persistent, working on it. This is that Tower energy. That Tower energy and the Devil's energy is the Divine Masculine collective realizing They have been sabotaging themselves. They have been sabotaging themselves, you know, with this repetitive and persistent bullshit, is what Spirit says, bullshit energy of sitting in your ego and pride and just letting that control you. You know, the 3D illusion, Spirit says, of your ego, you know, causes that repetitive, you know, protective supposed energy that surrounds him, and it causes that tower moment to realize how much that he's just pissed away his time and wasted time. And I don't mean to swear, but that's just what Spirit's saying, and I got to go with it. You know, you're pissed away your time, you waste your time, you wasted all this time that I could have had with her. I could have spent all this time with her, and I don't want to lose her to somebody else. I don't want to have, you know, years down the road realize that she's getting it on with somebody else and I could have had her. You know, this is all this major energy that's coming through. The hammer's breaking it down. The hammer's getting rid of it. The hammer's just, you know, he's realizing how much he's sabotaged himself. He sabotaged himself with it. But instead, the beauty of this is instead of just dwelling in that energy, he can let that go. You know, he can let that go. The rebuilding. A hammer is also rebuilding. Do you see those messages? It's not just a destroying energy. It's not where he's just going to sit in those energies of, I fucked up, I'm never going to get her back. No, you can destroy something and you can rebuild it. The hammer is rebuilding. Okay? So, and it's working on it. He's working on it. Do you see those messages? So it's a very, you know, and it is no secret, it's no surprise that it came out with the tower, right? The tower is destroyed by that freaking hammer, but it can also be rebuilt. We can tear down all those old paradigms, all those old ways of thinking. And I'm talking lifetimes of old ways of thinking. You can rid yourself of that. You can choose to do that for yourself and break those old paradigms and rebuild a more solid foundation for the two of them. And it is no surprise that the very last card is soulmate. Look at that. Like, I'm almost getting so many I'm getting complete goosebumps for my whole entire body. You can rebuild this soulmate connection. Nothing is ever lost. Nothing is ever lost. Ever. Ever. Soulmate, soul connection, partnership, agreement, soul contract. This is what's happening in this collective. You know, it's breaking down, the hammer's breaking down all those old paradigms, breaking that down, getting rid of all those devil energies, breaking all that down, rebuilding it, building that solid foundation, working on it. Working on this soulmate connection, the soul contract. It can be rebuilt and it can start brand new. Spirit says it can always start brand new. Like, I really love this reading. I really do. And I hope you guys really enjoyed it too, because, you know, there's always hope, right? There's always hope. You can, you know, we have free will in this lifetime. We have free will in every lifetime. We can either sit in the old energies of how we used to be, or we can freaking break it down and we can fix it. We can choose to take a hammer to our own old ways and break that shit up and start brand new. We can build a new tower. We can build something brand new. And it's a soulmate connection. It's a soul contract. It's happening. It's happening, guys. And it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I just love this reading. I hope you guys really enjoyed it too, because it's just freaking beautiful. It's really beautiful. All right, I love you. I love you very much. Don't forget to hit that like button, that subscribe, share this. Any donations to my channel, I would really love and appreciate. I'm really trying to start, get going and build a website and get some tarot and oracle cards made for you guys. And any donations I can get, I deeply appreciate it. I really would, because this is what I do and this is what I love, and I just love to help people. And I appreciate you guys all. All right, I really do. I love you guys. All right, thank you very much, and I hope you have a wonderful night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.